Josh, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. Tell me, what's the first thing you remember using your signature for?
Ooh, I think you talking officially or like what I used to do during church during the sermon was practice my signature on the back of a bulletin.
I
Because
think we've all done that.
when you're
I think we've
famous,
all
you got
done
to
that.
have a good signature, right? It amazes me that guys nowadays don't take pride in their signature. Some of these athletes.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about a couple signatures. I think it's a lost skill because no one writes checks anymore, right?
And they don't teach cursive. So like with my kids, I'm like trying to get them to come up with a signature, and it's just like they're not used to the flow of what cursive
Yeah.
handwriting is, and that creates
Keep
the signature. So
yeah, keep that pen on the piece of paper, right? So you think autographs are just going to get progressively worse and worse?
oh, as a whole they will, and you'll have those few guys that maybe have a little artistic ability or someone that's like really into having a good signature. We need to keep our eyes peeled for some of these new up and coming athletes and see who has like a standout signature.
Yeah, we do. We do. So you don't remember. So other than the church bulletin,
It would
was
have
it
to be like
sign
you open
check,
your
right?
first checking account. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so has it evolved? We're going to talk about Brady here in a little bit, but all that practice in church, did you nail it or or did it evolve over the years?
It's definitely evolved into what it is now, and it's uh, probably a lot quicker and easier to do than. But it is important to have a signature you use all the time, especially
It
with
is.
credit card disputes and things like
Mhm.
that. So
Yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty flippant about it, right? It's just between digital signatures that you use like DocuSign and platforms like that, and then the signature line on the credit card machines. I'm really flippant about that. I've always
oh yeah,
struggled with any of that stuff because I'm left-handed, and so even when I'm signing stuff, I'm just smearing it all over the place, like you know.
yeah. Well, they say everyone was born right-handed, and then some people sin. So I mean, that's I'm sure you've
You
heard all
got
the
me.
jokes,
You
but
got me. No, I mean it's funny when I was at Auburn. There's not in the big auditorium classrooms. Like I remember, it was like my Western civilization class or whatever, and there were 600 people in that class, and it was this big auditorium with like the flip up desks out of the chairs, and not one left handed one. So I'd like move my body over in order to use it. So, but
first world problems.
first world problems. First world problems. So right now, if you had to sign something, let's just say Tops came to you. You know how they had some influencer people in
Oh
the
yeah,
Top
yeah,
Series
yeah,
1,
yeah.
and they said, Josh, we're going to send you some cards. Number one, how would you feel about it? Number two, what would you use an inscription? What would that be like for you?
I would just make sure that my autograph was on the sticker and that it was uniform across all mine. And then
Oh, come on.
I would do something. I would do a cool inscription on a couple of the numbers that maybe mean something to me, or I don't know. These are all never going to happen
Oh,
scenarios. So
come
we'll
on.
see.
And
Maybe we'll look
hopefully
back episode.
Tops would send you the cards. They wouldn't have you sign a sheet of stickers.
Oh,
Come
I'm
on.
that important? They would send the cards.
Come on.
So like at episode 1200, we're gonna look back and be like, remember that episode? I think it was episode 200. You were saying that would never happen, Josh, and look what now. It's 1,000 episodes later, and it still hasn't happened. Welcome, gang, to another episode of the Talking Shop podcast, episode 200. We have made it this far. What is wrong with us? I am Josh from Grand Slam Cards. Michael from Medium Rare Cards over on Instagram. Go give him a follow. Jacob is not here today. He's in Hawaii.
I know, right?
Yeah, and fun being rich, ain't it, Jacob? But Jacob, come back and see us next week. But we're here to talk some shop with you on this Monday that we're recording. How are you doing?
Yeah, and before I get to the rundown, I just want to take a moment. I know we don't have a huge following, but we have a very consistent one. And just want to thank everybody. Like, I know I don't have the FaceTime that Josh does in the shop or at these shows, but when I have been to the shop or a local show, inevitably somebody comes up and say, "Hey, you're the guy on the podcast." So while we're still have tens of listeners and watchers, we appreciate every single one of you guys.
Get mobbed one of these days. You'll get mobbed.
One of these days. So, all right. So, welcome to episode 200 of the Talking Shop podcast. Today, it says tonight here, but today we're going to talk about Tom Brady, and he finally explains why his autograph has changed over the years. We'll break down one of Panini's biggest wins in recent memory. They are probably thankful that the World Cup is happening right now. We'll celebrate one of the coolest Messi pulls we've seen in years. We'll also discuss whether PSA's grading changes are already affecting the market. And we'll debate why a gold Wembanyama autograph outsold the orange version of that card. And we'll finish by hearing from one of baseball's top prospects about why what it's really like signing thousands of cards. Plus, this week's newest releases, it's sort of a lighter release week. And then hopefully Josh has a crazy stat of the week. But first, okay, for the opening rip, we got Josh's personal collection subject, Tom Brady, explaining why his signature has changed. I feel like we've seen a version of this before, but this was posted a couple days ago, and I thought it was a pretty cool thing. So let's listen to what he says. Let me reload the page and see what he says.
Definitely original signature. That's a definitely original signature. I signed it two different ways.
That's the original?
That, Tom? You know what? That's how my dad signed his name.
Okay.
So I always try to copy how he did it. But then I realized I should have kind of more of an autograph and then more of a signature. So that's how I signed my checks.
Yeah.
Not that we really sign checks much anymore. And then I changed. I don't know what year I changed.
You can almost see the progression of your auto. Like you look here, that's one from I think 2018 or 2016.
Yeah.
You can see the progression of it.
And I started to make this V. I don't know if you can see it, but the V was a 1 and a 2.
I never knew that.
1 and 2.
Interesting. How many autograph cards of yours I've owned? I've never known that.
That's a definitely original.
Did you know that, Josh?
I knew that from the last time a while back we talked about this. I would not have probably picked that out of it, but I did know because I have a rookie autograph of his, and it has the longer, fuller signature as opposed to his current autograph. But I like how he put it. One's a signature and one's an autograph, so it's a good way to separate it. A signature would be like on your legal documents. An autograph would be on your merchandise. So.
Yeah. So it just makes the ball, the Gronk Brady ball that we looked at last episode, look even worse because that looks like he dropped the pen on the ball and it marked it, and that was his autograph. It was terrible. I'll probably maybe in post I'll put a picture of that. But I looked at where that stood last night, and there were no bids. It was still at $100,000. Golden.
Yeah.
So
that autograph probably has something to do with it. You're gonna get money for what the ball is, but that autograph doesn't help it for sure.
No. And so we started this episode saying what would change. Um, I really do think with Fanatics being so involved with the player associations, do you think that they would take aside maybe some of their top rookies and top stars and say, "Hey, guys, let's put some thought let's put some thought into this."
I'm kind of surprised that they haven't. Maybe like when they send them the roll of stickers or they send them all the cards and some instructions, a little pep talk like, hey, let's put a little pride into your signature. These are going to be out there forever. I don't know, just a thought.
Yeah, like forever. It's crazy. I mean, why wouldn't you take? And we're gonna one of the stories in hobby news. We're gonna look at a kid, a younger player, that his take on it. But yeah, it's like they don't give it any thought. And look, it's easy for us to talk about it here. I mean, when's the last time, other than the church bulletin, that you used your signature and you did it more than 20 times in a row?
Yeah, not very often. It would be when you're doodling on a piece of paper.
It's never for me, right? And then what if you're getting, I don't know, I guess I could ask ChatGPT what the math is on if you were an autograph subject in, let's just say, Topps Chrome. How many autographs? I mean, is it?
I mean, it's a lot.
It's a lot, and so
it's
yeah,
a lot for those smaller guys. You know, Brady's got nothing numbered past probably 10. So for him in a product, it's probably 10 to 20 autographs. But for some of these guys, the guys you're always pulling, and then you'll pull 2 in one box. You're like, these poor guys have carpal tunnel syndrome, probably.
Exactly. Well, speaking of boxes, Josh, what is hitting the shelves this week at Grand Slam? We're probably going to need to recap what hit the shelves last week. We missed last week.
Yep.
But what's hit the shelves this week as well?
Yes, I'll have to use my memory on last week. Last week was a busier release week. We had, in no particular order, Topps Inception Baseball, Topps Tier 1 Baseball, the Topps Series 2 Mega Boxes hit the shelves, some Panini Prizm soccer product. We have some FIFA World Cup Prizm stuff on the shelf. We have Topps UFC Knockout, which are a pretty cool product. If you follow the Instagram, you would have seen a picture of that, but they kind of have a museum collection style box.
Mm-hmm.
There was a couple Leaf products, Leaf Electrum Baseball, Hobbies and Jumbos hit, Leaf Spectacular Football. I'm probably leaving out a couple things. We got a bunch of fill-in product on WNBA products. So if you like WNBA, we've got Select, Prizm, Megas and Blasters and hobby boxes on the shelf of that product. And then this week is much lighter. There's like some boring stuff like the factory sets for Topps Baseball, a product we're not getting, but Topps Marvel Comics. I didn't get allocated any of that, but that'll be out in the world. Donruss Elite Baseball is later this week. There is a Pokemon EX Premium Collection box coming out the 3rd, which that would be Friday, and then a new Yu-Gi-Oh! Booster product that will come out on the 3rd as well. Also last week, the new Magic the Gathering Marvel Superheroes product hit the shelf, so that has sold pretty well. So other than that, lots of fill-in stuff on the shelf. The shelves are full. The selection is plentiful. Come see us at Grand Slam, where we were here before the boom, not because of it.
Nice tagline drop. A couple things. Let me circle back. Did you get Panini Pitch Kings Soccer? Was
No.
that one of the ones? Okay, so that was last week. You mentioned Knockout. And Prizm World Cup dropped last week. We're going to talk a little bit about that, break down that product just a little bit with the World Cup. You mentioned in pregame, Josh, you haven't been watching much soccer. Is that just because you don't care or you hate America?
A little bit of column A and none of column B. No, it's just busyness, and we put it on at the shop, so we'll have it playing during store hours, and I'll peek in on some of it there. But yeah, just never been a huge soccer guy. Nothing against it. Nothing against it.
Come on, man. Be proud of those stars and stripes. It's actually so. Here's one of the things. Let me see if I can get you to watch a little bit of soccer. There's two halves. Josh, you with me? You're sort of frozen.
And now, if you've ever thought about getting a card graded, now's the time. Here's a word from our sponsor, me. Are you looking to get your cards graded? Well, here at Grand Slam, we've simplified the process of submitting and getting a card graded. All you have to do is drop off your cards and kick your feet up, while our transparent tracking ensures that you are up to date with every detail along the way. When you log into our website, you'll immediately be greeted with each card in the grading process, along with where it's at in the process and its final grade. And with over 1,000 submissions and some of the top cards across the country being submitted through us, we have become a well-trusted source to handle and submit your cards. So you can do more collecting and leave the chore of grading to us. So don't sit on grading your cards. Get them submitted today at Grand Slam, where grading's made easy.
All right, now to hobby news. The World Cup is here. Josh has already said that he's not watching. Every time America has been on the screen, we've had it on here at the house. It is interesting. I try to stay off of socials, but it is interesting to see the posts about how other countries are, number one, enjoying American food. So
I have seen some of that.
Stay long enough, and you're going to enjoy the heart disease as well. And then number two, I just think it's fun to see other countries sort of talk about America like they can't believe that the topography, the geography. It's like you're going to see the beaches, and then you're going to see the mountains, and you're going to see this, and it's just I find it super interesting how you're getting other countries exposed to this country, and yeah, they're seeing why we're the best. Clearly, I mean,
We really are.
we have Chick-fil-A. But we have given Panini, and more so me and Jacob, you've been pretty nice to them. But we've given Panini some beatings over the last year or so. But I tell you, Josh, the combination of the World Cup and the release of Panini World Cup Prizm, I don't know if you've seen some of this product, but it's fantastic. Let me share my screen here. So this post says, release day, the king is back. I could just hear Conor McGregor. There's a meme of him saying the king's back. It says the king is back. Panini, Prizm FIFA World Cup is here. Check out some of these cards. So first they lead with the manga, the Messi. So obviously this is a staple of Panini Prizm. And my one criticism of this product is I feel like they just took everything that they could as far as inserts, and they stuck it in this product because they knew that there was going to be a lot of eyeballs.
And it ain't cheap. This is an expensive product too.
Oh, really? Talk about some of the pricing you've got there on your shelf.
So I think for this product, we just have hobby boxes. I think they're $1,000. We've got them a couple.
Wow.
We've got them like 800, I believe, in the shop. So I think we're one of the cheapest around on the bit that we got allocated. But I've been hearing, someone told me, and I can't verify this, but someone said first off the line boxes were like $4,000 online.
Wow.
So, yeah, I know the ceiling is high. As much as
it is,
I'm not into soccer, it's worldwide and it's popular. I will not.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
The second one here, I want to say this looks like a downtown, but I think in this product it's called landmarks, national landmarks.
Okay, that's cool.
And so it's and I don't know if landmarks, national landmarks, or downtowns, which one was first. But I remember seeing this in the 2018 product when I got back into the hobby, got into soccer, and these are one of my favorite inserts. This is the one from Mbappe. I tell you, if this is, and we're looking, if you guys are just listening, this is signature moments, and this is the Pele. He's since passed, so this is coming off of a sheet of stickers. This is one of his better autos, folks.
Mm-hmm.
If this is a representation of the Pele autos coming out of this product, this is a good one. This is a good one.
Yeah.
And then here's the base. This is Erling Haaland. He is one of, I don't know if you ever heard of Erling Haaland, Josh.
I have not.
He's like the Terminator. he's like the Terminator.
I've heard.
Soccer. He's like 6'7". Just almost sounds like Arnold when he's talking.
I almost remember people saying like he's like watching Gronk out there, when Gronk was out there with doing his thing, just like playing with little kids almost.
What do you think of this layout? What do you think of the design? Here's the base design.
I'm super impressed with it. I will admit, it's a sweet product.
I don't know if and this is just me having pulled away from Panini products. Are the Prizm cards, do they usually have like a player on the field in an action shot as the image? Or is it usually airbrushed?
No. On just a Prizm base card?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. You're not familiar with Prizm?
I am. Like, I'm trying to look at Prizm down here and some of these other posts. I am, but for some reason, like we talked about the Wemby card, his Prizm card had him in a photo shoot with the curtain behind him.
Yeah.
Now, clearly, they didn't have Erling Haaland in a Norway uniform, right? They probably had a stock photo of him, and this is airbrush, but this looks like a shot of him on the field at least.
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying this design. Another one.
Yeah, those look great.
Yeah, one of the hotter rookies. Another landmark. There's Ronaldo. And then some of the autographs. Now this hardly means anything to me because I'm not a true soccer guy. So I don't know the history of Spain's national team, but apparently these are pretty big names. I don't know. They put color blasts.
Color blasts. Panini going all out on this product.
They are. All the chips are in the middle of the table with this release.
It's starting to make sense why it's an expensive box.
Yeah.
There's the old school Prizm design.
Yeah. So
high ceiling.
It is a high ceiling. So you're saying it's expensive. How much of it were you allocated? Could you think back to 2022 when
we didn't got any back then?
You didn't get any, so you got actually more with this.
Yeah, release. Less than a full case. I'll put it that way. But again, that suits us here because we're not a huge soccer shop, but it's growing for sure. And we need more than that for baseball, football, and basketball, which we get more than that for that. But this will suit us. Sure, at some point we'll wish we had gotten more, but
yeah. I mean,
Friday, I think, and we've got a few boxes on the shelf as far as I know since I've started the podcast.
Are you anticipating just hobby, or have you gotten any word of whether or not there's going to be some blasters, maybe some megas?
I have not. I don't know that answer yet.
Okay. And then as far as soccer is concerned, have you had some people coming into the shop saying, hey, you got any soccer? You got any American players?
Yep. A little bit asking about soccer. I had a phone call this morning about asking about soccer products. So, yeah, for sure. A little bit. We kind of knew with the World Cup going on that it would spurn some interest in soccer product as a whole. So that Topps Finest Soccer, I don't know, I maybe didn't mention that in the releases, but that came out last week. We got a fair amount of that, and I think a little bit more on the way from Topps too. So a little second wave of it.
Let me ask you this, Josh. And I don't know if you're a betting man, but if you had to wager your mortgage, do you think that Panini hangs on to this license for the World Cup, or do you think Topps wrestles it away from them?
Oof. There's probably too much behind the scenes I don't know about, but this might be one that Panini fights for, you know.
Well, they're based, like, I think Panini's based in Italy, right? Panini's
sounds Italian.
Sandwich. Panini. So yeah, maybe they fight for this a little bit, but boy, some of that Topps product that's out there now looks so good. And could you imagine, like, what would they call it? Topps Chrome World Cup? Bananas.
That would be big.
Bananas. Has anybody ripped any of this in the shop?
No, I think since we started the podcast, we may have sold a box or two of it.
Okay.
From what I'm overhearing, but I have not seen any of it in the shop opened yet. And I know I personally sold one on Friday, but didn't see it opened.
Means you guys got to head down to the shop while it's still there.
Pull you a landmark or a manga. Call it a day.
Go USA. Josh, you need to watch the match against Bosnia. I feel like every bad guy in every 80s movie was from Bosnia.
Herzegovina.
Exactly. So I think it's Wednesday. Maybe no. Is Wednesday the 1st? Wednesday's the 1st. Yes. You need to watch it. Can you commit to that? Watch that match.
I cannot commit to it. We'll see. Is it on at night or during the day?
Let me see.
If it's at night, that's when MJF's on TV.
Oh, come on. USA versus Bosnia. Playing where your guy used to play. They're playing in Gillette Stadium. I think it's saying it's 4:30.
Wednesday, 4th. Yeah, I'll be here for a little bit at the shop. We'll see. It'll be on TV at the shop. We can guarantee that.
Or maybe 9 p.m.
Oh,
there's going to be 2 matches, so hopefully you can catch that.
It's during the middle of Dynamite. I don't know. I gotta see him. He's better than us, and we know it, Michael.
Finally, we've talked about we're pretty cynical. Well, you're pretty cynical when it comes to some of these big autographs. You're like, yeah, tell us what shop it was pulled at, and tell us who pulled it, and give us a little bit of a story. I found this for you, Josh. We're staying in soccer, but this one will make you feel good. This one will make you smile. Number one, the kid's name is Maverick, which is super cool. Maverick, an 8-year-old and huge Messi fan, got a surprise when his dad stopped by a local farm supply store on his way home from work and picked up a box of soccer. Picked up a box of soccer.
Going to the farm supply store, son. Get some ball cards.
When he started opening packs, his dad couldn't believe it when he saw the gold border and the 101 stamped on the Messi Superfractor. Holy cow.
Support your local farm supply store, folks.
I knew it. I knew you would try to dunk on this.
It's not an LCS, it's your FSS, farm supply store.
Yeah, I want to know what farm supply stores are carrying cards these days. You think the owner of that card store
farm store supply product? Stay in your lane. You shouldn't be able to. Shame on the company.
Come on.
distributors that open up a farm supply store to buy this crap.
It's taking the steam right out of the store. This was supposed to be a feel-good story, Josh.
No, I'm turning it into a hate-filled rage.
You're watching too
story.
much of this MJF guy. You're being influenced, Josh. Well, finally, we get a feel-good story. This kid finds it.
It's always
He's
boy. It's always a
yeah,
boy.
he's a Messi fan, and I'm not sure when this screenshot was taken, but it's they sent it to CGC. What did it get? Can you see that?
I do have it just looks like it's authenticated. There's no grade because the grade's usually right there.
Yeah, they just got it authenticated. And at the time of this post, there were 42 bids, and it's up to 18.5. Couple questions. When are you going to start carrying some feed at your card store to sort of compete with the
when
farm
feed gets hot, you watch out. We're going all in.
And
they're going to be like, I headed down to the local card shop to get some feed.
What do you think this finishes at?
Don't know. Don't care. I'm bitter now.
Come on.
I don't know. Probably 50 grand. I don't know. How much longer? I do have. So a lot of the kids in town for basketball this weekend were in the shop on Saturday. We had lots of, 12, 13, 14-year-old boys in the shop. And one of them told us he was the one that hit the Cooper Flag Topps Finest Superfractor.
Nice.
Him and his dad hit it on a whatnot break and sold it for $82,000.
Oh my!
Yeah,
goodness.
showed us a picture of him in the whatnot stream and the Instagram post that probably got lots of exposure. But we were like, that's pretty cool. So that was pretty
really
cool. I mean, he hit it in a whatnot break, so that sucks. But at least it wasn't a farm supply store.
All right, our next story.
Smells like manure.
Our next story are PSAs about PSA. Blah, blah, blah. Are PSA 9s about to become more valuable? Let me put this on the screen. These are from our friends over at Sports Card Nonsense. Let me.
We have friends over there?
I do.
Last night was the most positive sign I've seen in terms of resale in the last month.
Oh, really?
That's a couple weeks leading up to the PSA news of shutting down the lower tiers and since.
Mm-hmm.
We had over 100 people, probably like 120 people for the peak last night on the eBay live show, which lately is huge for us. It's double what it's been. I don't know what's happened the last month. And the demand, the amount of people coming in and specifically, hey, any slabs? This was specifically, hey, looking for PSA 9s and 10s. Like, guys, so there's definitely a demand being created because that pipeline has slowed down some. Last night was the most.
What's your take on this, Josh? Have you seen that at the store?
I have seen maybe a little uptick in people asking about graded cards. Nothing unusually noticeable, but common sense would tell you that these people that need to keep an inventory of higher graded slabs are going to probably that supply will probably start to dry a little bit with PSA turning the water faucet off. But yeah, I mean, I hadn't given it much thought. It would be nice for 9s to get back to, an increase. What I think will also help is I have no knowledge of this. Common sense tells me this is what's going to happen. When PSA opens back up, the prices have to be higher. And I think that will naturally drive PSA 9 prices up because there's going to be less people taking a risk of sending stuff because the price is going to be higher. So
now we've talked about this on the pod before. That whole I'm buying 9s to crack them because they look great to try to get 10s. So that affects that market as well too, because if the 9 prices go up, then that's a little more risk if you're not guaranteeing yourself a 10.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it'll throw. I mean, it'll help. I mean, 8s and raws will probably stay the same. If it just kind of goes back to that's the perfect formula. An 8 is raw price, a 9's a small bump, and a 10's a big bump. That's in a perfect world where it ought to be.
Yeah, because it got funky there for a while, right? to where the distance between a 9 and a 10 was just didn't make any sense. Right?
Yeah, and some raw cards were selling for as much as 9s, if not more,
right.
for the hopes that maybe
the
there's
potential because of the potential upside.
Yeah.
So interesting. Now, as a shop, are you now going to put it out there that you're looking for slabs for intake?
No, we're always looking, so we won't have to put anything out there, but and then what we pay is just going to be determined on the market value anyway. So if that bumps PSA 9 prices, that's just a bump for everybody, and we'll pay a little more for them, and you'll get a little more for them. So, but all them 9s I get back constantly from PSA. Maybe that'll help me out a little bit. I seem to be a 9 magnet when I send good stuff.
Well, there you go. There you go. Okay, our next hobby story is focusing on the big guy, Victor Wembanyama. And it's when a gold outsells an orange. So check this video out.
Make it make sense to me. Typically in Topps Chrome, a gold, a true gold, not a shimmer, not a pulsar, not a wave, versus a true orange. The orange is generally 2 to 2.5 times a gold. A gold PSA 10 Wemby at Fanatics last week sold for $144,000 in 2025 Topps Chrome Gold PSA 10 Auto. An orange sold for $60,000. Is the hobby on drugs? Are people morons? I don't really know. Why the hell? Like, what fake justification is, oh, gold is the hobby standard? Well, that was with Prizm. Are people just protecting their gold because they overpaid thinking it was like Prizm, where gold is king? I mean, there's 50 of them versus 25, easy math. Someone please make it make sense to me, because I don't know what's wrong with people. I don't know what I'm missing. Maybe I'm missing it all, you tell me. But I think it's just insane and not very smart.
Josh.
It's hard for one thing that bugs me is that these guys act like this is all just written in stone. What if the guy that has buku bucks wanted the gold? Personally, I like the gold. I like the look of the gold one better. I got all the money in the world. I'll spend what I want to spend on it. It's like, oh, you can't spend more on a card that's numbered higher because the one that's numbered lower, bro, you spend whatever you want. And if the I think there's other factors that go into it. The looks of the card. Gold does have a more premium look than the orange. It's just, I don't like how they treat it like it just has to be. And if you don't, according to him, you're a moron. Sometimes, what if the person that bought the orange overpaid and the gold is probably where it should be? Maybe the guy in the orange loved the one in the orange, and he's like, I don't care. The person selling it wants too much for it, but I don't care. People have money to do that. Like, why do you buy $15 popcorn at the theater when you can buy a whole bag for $4 and have all popcorn for a week? Make it make sense, people. Are these people morons? No. They just, at that moment in time, they're okay with spending that because it's convenient. I don't know. It doesn't have to be so formulaic, low numbered ones, any numbered ones. I don't know. It's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, yes, it's rarer and it should be based on the rarity. It's fair. That's a fair assumption. But I don't like when people are like, well, the last one brought 50,000, so this one has to bring 50,000. Maybe that's the only one that sold, and the person that bought it said, look, I'm not letting this thing get back out of the market. I'm going to snag it up. I know I'm overpaying for it. So that card's not worth 50,000. Just because one person was willing to pay 50,000 for it doesn't mean that every card numbered exactly like that is worth 50,000. You got to time it right sometimes. Maybe that one was sold in the height of the playoffs when Wemby was rocking and rolling, and the next one was sold after he was knocked out. Or there's too many variables. Relax, people.
I can always count on you to be pragmatic about this kind of stuff. But let me ask you this, Josh. Does this happen? Does this sort of upside downness, like that word, upside downness, does this happen in a baseball product? Or do you think?
Yeah. We see it all over the place sometimes, and you'll hear all the time comps for this are all over the place. Well, what's that mean? That means it's not steady. In you're going to find someone that paid way more for this card and someone paid way less. I'll admit, if there's a card I'm hunting for and not a lot of them pop up onto eBay, and I've got my little reminder set, like I'm putting that Planetary Pursuit Tom Brady. If what's the last Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, whatever, any of those pop up there, I might overpay because I don't know when I'll see another one come out like that. And so I might overpay for it. And then the next Uranus gets put up there, no pun intended. And someone might say, well, the last Uranus brought, I should have used Neptune probably. The last Neptune brought $1,000. So mine's worth $1,000. Not if there's not another person willing to spend $1,000 for it. So it's not all written in stone. There's some variation to it. So sometimes it's timing it just right. You happen to throw your card up there when the right guy got his tax return check and was wanting that card and didn't want to shop around and just wanted to buy it. I mean, what if you were looking for, I'll use a Cybertruck as an example because those are not like super easy to go buy because there's just not a lot of them out there. You go on Carvana, they're all like in progress. You can't hardly find one. But let's say one popped up there and you're like, man, I don't know when the next one's going to come available. I'm buying this one for X amount of dollars. Well, that doesn't mean that every Cybertruck after that is with that mileage is worth that much. It just meant that guy got it for that much. It should be a guide, don't get me wrong, but you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes timing has something to do with it.
All right, our last hobby news story is tying back to how we started this episode in the cold open. This is from our friends over at Sports Card Nonsense. They're interviewing, I want to say it's Travis Soroka.
Yeah.
Yes, Travis Sikora. Sorry, Travis Sikora. And they're interviewing him. Listen to this. I thought this was super interesting and sort of humanizes the whole autograph process.
Sent me my Superfractor to sign, I'd be like, but I want this card. What was your experience like when you actually like signed your first Bowman cards that Topps sent you directly and kind of that like getting that, I'm sure, huge stack of cards that you had to sign?
It was cool. Like I said, whenever I signed them for the first time, I wasn't actually into the hobby. So I just kind of like got through them pretty quick. And every time I sign now, I try to like make my signature, pretty consistent and look well. But at the time I was just like, I was actually timing myself, like how many can I get through in 20 minutes? And so like,
you're trying to get those PSA 1010s now. Yeah. You're like, I'm getting the 10 autos now.
In my first Bowman, there's a lot of ones that are streaky. It was very cool. Boxes with the cards just lined up in them. Like it was sick, and like I take them out and they're like super shiny and stuff. And like I said, anytime I sign cards now for Topps, like it's fun. I enjoy seeing, what the future cards are going to look like and just signing them. I love doing inscriptions. Like every time I sign now, I'll throw inscriptions in there.
If Topps sent me
I like the inscription, sell me this card. You know what I mean? Because like those guys said, man, this card, I'd like to own this card, but I can't. I got to put it back in the product. So it would be cool to put an inscription on there that says, sell me this card.
Yeah. Sell my mom this card.
Yeah. Reach out on IG or something.
I just, sometimes we forget there's a person on the other side of this card, right? We talk about card values all the time. We see card values go up and down, and inevitably somewhere in the back of my lizard brain, I'm like, I forget that there's a person on this card. And sometimes
I'm reminded,
not me. Well, not
I'm
me.
reminded when customers are like, oh, this guy's total garbage. It's like, well, his mom doesn't think he's total garbage. I mean, you got to keep that in mind. You feel bad for Ace Flag, Cooper Flag's brother. You hit his auto, and he wants to inscribe on that thing, I know you were wishing this was Cooper's auto. Sorry, it's the wrong flag. Like, I would be putting stuff like that on there if I was Ace. But
yeah, folks, just remember, we could get pretty focused on card values and complaining about streaky autos or values going down, but there is a human, there isn't a human being on the other side of this thing. So keep that in mind, especially if you're in the shop opening up UFC and you're talking trash about Chris Weidman.
Yeah, you never know when they might walk through the door. This guy's garbage, and you wake up in the hospital.
All right, Josh, you got a crazy stat for us?
I do have a crazy stat.
All right. Well, before you hit that crazy stat or hit us with that crazy stat, if you guys have made it this far, thank you. Episode 200. Can't believe we are still doing this. I looked back at our first episode. We were so lost, and now we're still lost, but we're not as lost. But don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, leave a review. Josh, take us out with a crazy stat of the week.
So, did you know that in MLB modern era, like we could say MLB history, but like let's say MLB history because it's probably close. There have been over 5 million 18-game spans by players, right? So, no player in history has ever had an 18-game span like Pete Crow Armstrong just had, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. He struggled at the beginning of the year. He's caught fire now. But in 18 games, 34 hits, 5 doubles, 2 triples, 9 home runs, and 6 stolen bases. And that doesn't sound like you're talking 18 games. You're going to bat, 4 or 5 times a game? So what's 4? So that's like, 80 at-bats, 80 or 90 at-bats, 34 hits, only 5 doubles, 2 triples, 9 home runs, and 6 stolen bases. No player in history has ever had those stats over an 18-game span. That's pretty remarkable. Pete Crow Armstrong's having a great little spurt. Hopefully continues it the second half of the year. And I thought that was a pretty crazy stat.
It is a crazy stat. He is on a heater. Josh, thanks for taking some time out from the shop today. Hope you have a good week. Guys, visit the shop. There's plenty of product there, and go USA. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Peace.